Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the adjudicators and debaters. Before we start our debate today, this is a gentle reminder. Please mute your microphone when you are not presenting. Thank you. And welcome to the first Kedah Online English Language Debate Competition 2021. The motion for today is, this House believes that potential employers should consider an applicant's social media ethics. Acting as the government team from this debate is the team from Baling District, with Mr. Muhammad Aizat bin Azhar as the first speaker, Ms. Jauza Kamili binti Muhammad Zaki as the second speaker, Ms. Nurul Irdina binti Sazali as the third speaker. And the reply speech will be delivered by Ms. Jauza Kamili binti Muhammad Zaki. While acting as the opposition team for this debate is the team from Padang Terap, with Ms. Norfariza binti Azhar as the first speaker, Mr. Zulkarnain bin Mat Isa as the second speaker, Ms. Nur Ain Najibah binti Azhar as the third speaker. And the reply speech will be delivered by Mr. Zulkarnain binti Mat Isa. There are three adjudicators who will adjudicate this competition. There are Mr. Muhammad Alif bin Muhammad Shahrizan as the Chief Judge.
Hi, good luck everyone.
And he will be assisted by Ms. Mildred Tan Kershin.
Hello everyone, good morning.
Ms. Mohana, daughter of Balakrishnan.
Hi everyone, all the best.
Madam Nur Asmidar binti Hashim.
Hello everyone, all the best.
And last but not least, Madam Mazlifah binti Ahmad.
Hello everyone, all the best to you.
Now, I would like to read out some of the rules of this debate. For the substantive speech, each debater is given 8 minutes to deliver your speech. The timekeeper will ring the bell once after the first minute to show that information P or I can be delivered. The timekeeper will then ring the bell once again at the end of the 7 minutes to show that the time for POI is over. At the end of the 8 minutes, the bell will be rung twice to indicate that the time allocated is over. A maximum time of 3 minutes will be given to both teams to prepare your reply speech. The timekeeper will ring the bell once to show the start of the preparation time, and the bell will be rung twice after 3 minutes to show the time to prepare for the reply speech has ended. For reply speech, the timekeeper will ring the bell once at the 3rd minute to signal that the debater has 1 minute left. At the end of the 4th minute, the bell will be rung twice to signal the end of the debate. Now, we shall begin our debate today. To open the case from the government team, please welcome the first speaker of the government team, Mr. Muhammad Aizat bin Azhar.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the respected speaker, honorable adjudicators, members of the opposition team and members of the floor. The topic for our debate today is that this House believes that potential employers should consider an applicant's social media ethics. We as the government strongly agree with the motion. But proceed with our own arguments, allow me to define today's motion. There are several crucial keywords in motion, namely potential employers and social media ethics. Based on Oxford Students Dictionary, potential employers is a person or organization capable of employing others, meaning that this is the one that will be go and finding others to hire them for a specific organization. Applicant is a person that asks for a job. Social media ethics can be defined as moral principles or behaviors shown through social media, meaning that be it good behaviors or bad behaviors, these are things that they show through the social media. So by defining today's motion, we say that potential employer will consider the applicant's social media ethics in context of how they express themselves online. So our key line for today is that potential employers should highly consider applicants' social media ethics before hiring them in order to minimize the risk factor. So ladies and gentlemen, social media nowadays is becoming widely more than ever. Everybody all around the world, most of them have them. So this is the place where they think they are safe. So they express themselves, they show their true colors. So let me get to my first argumentation is why we should consider on applicants' social media ethics, because we want to maintain a conducive workplace environment. But what do we mean by conducive workplace environment? In order to have a great workplace environment, you would need people who have good ethics. Conducive environment meaning that they are peaceful, not stressful. It's just only they are just doing their work. Clearly, they want to work there, but if we don't consider these things, there are really risk factors that we need to take into consideration here, because we want to have a rough idea of the applicants that we are dealing with. So,
Your eye, please.
Yes, please.
How do you prove that people's attitude online or their ethics online is what they do in real life?
Okay, can you please repeat that?
Sorry. How do you prove that applicants' social media ethics is what they do in real life?
Okay, thank you for your PRI, sir. Well, let's just think is this way. Let's just think is this logically. Like I said, they shows their true colors. Their true colors will always be inside of them no matter what. So if they already shows these types of things through their social media, how can you possibly say that they won't do the same in the workplace environment to the employees, to their own colleagues? So yeah, I hope that answers your PRI. No, thank you. No, thank you. Conducive environment meaning that it's peaceful, like I said before. So this is an environment where the people could work well. So when we have a conducive environment, we could say that the productivity of an organization, of the employers, they will be increased because they have a great communication teams between them, when they could really have a great manners, a great ethics, a great work ethics, which we should look at them first. So when this happened, the efficiency of the task could also be increased, and when it reduced the stress, you bet that the productivity will increase. So for example, if you hire an employee, yes, please.
Okay, the thing is, work ethics and your personal ethics are completely different. So how are they synonymous with each other, right?
Okay, I will come back to you later. Okay, if you hire an employee without considering their own work ethics, their negativity will be spread to the organization. Imagine if a workplace is chaotic, how can you process the task? How can you work well? Do you really want to take the risk, especially during these tough times? Right now, we should be minimizing the risk factors and taking a look on their social media ethics so that we could have a rough idea of what the employers are going to deal with. We want to know before we take them in, because before no, thank you. A conducive environment is really important because we want a good communication skill between their own colleagues. So you would need you will need good ethics to do so. Where, for example, if we were to hire applicants that have not good social media ethics whatsoever, they could have different opinions, and this could harm the teamwork skill between the colleagues, because if one say this and the other say this, even if it doesn't even correlate to the work, it will not help them in trusting each other. It will make them separate. It will loosen up the strength between them. This is what we want to avoid, because we just, like I said before, again and again, no, thank you, madam, because we want to minimize the risk factors. So when this happened, if you say that you didn't even consider, and then it turns out to have really bad social media ethics. So when this happened, you bet that it would harm the organization production. How? Because production is all about the ways, the procedure, the communication skills. So you would need a conducive environment to do so, yet not considering social media ethics into a risk factor. Please, my dear oppositions, take this into consideration. Not to mention that if an applicants have no good social media ethics, do you think that they can take constructive criticism? If we have no rough idea how the applications were, how do you think they will react if for example, the employer were to tell them that they did this wrong? No, thank you, madam. That they did this wrong, that they are not that good in that work, that they need to be improving their own solution. How do you think they can take this advice if they can't even say things good in the social media, if they shown the true colors, if they have said things that could harm, if they had given hate speech, for example? This is the things that you need to consider. No, thank you, sir. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I say we say that this motion should stand, because in order for an organization to become better, we will need to minimize the risk factor. Like I said, include, especially during this tough time, this pandemic, we don't want to have a greater loss at our hand. We want the best for them. The employer would want to take a look so that they could have a better idea. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aizat. The time is 8 minutes, 4 seconds. Then, to start the case from the opposition team, please welcome the first speaker of the opposition team, Ms. Norfariza binti Azhar.
Hello everyone, test mic.
Yes, clear.
Okay. A very good morning, albeit to the speakers and members of the floor. The motion for today is, this House believes that potential employer should consider applicants' social media ethics. We, the opposition team, strongly and totally disagree with today's motion, as we believe professionalism in workplace is not the same as what is presented in the social media. Before I make my stand as the leader of the opposition, let me firstly start with our team's definition. We, the opposition team, accept the definition that has been given by the Prime Minister just now, but with some amendments. We define social media as a platform that are connected with society and where people receive information and entertainments. We define applicant as a person who makes a formal request for something, especially for a job, and ethic as a moral principle that control or influence a person's behavior. Members of the August House, before I proceed with our team's first argument, I would like to review the first point of the government team. Just now, the Prime Minister had delivered their first point, which is it shows the true colors. You should not mess up their work life and their reality life. Are you stating that there's no more professional people who tend to not involve their life with their work? It's not a logic if you tend to judge someone life from their social media. You need to take consideration about their relative appearance also. Okay, moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, let me continue with our team's very first point, which is applicants' attitude is not the same in the workplace. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's era, almost 80% of people around the world are using social media. Some of them are really active in it. However, not every one of them are being their own self in the platform. Therefore, we shouldn't take their work life and their reality life as the same one. Yes?
I think the opposition side has not been listening properly because you misunderstood my Prime Minister's first point. We never said that social media shows the people true color as the main point. That is the explanation. Thank you.
Yes, it's not a main point, but I heard that you guys mentioned about true colors. That's why I'm rebutting on that. Okay? Thank you. Moreover, people tend to use the social media to talk about their daily life and whatsoever. But this doesn't mean that they are not professional at work. For example, when you are posting something on Instagram story and whatsoever, that doesn't mean that you are not committed with their work. They maybe just want to take a short break to release something that messing up their head. Well, that's good for them so that they can gain more fresh ideas after having a short break. Wasn't that will be good for you too if you are in their position? Additionally, ladies and gentlemen, social media is an unreliable platform. Yes, of course, other people that might communicate with those people might get offended. Like this happen in our daily lives. For example, you are saying something good to someone or maybe something or
Your
maybe
eyes, please.
good, but people tend to judge his or her intention just because of their word is not really suit the case. Are you guys still sure that it's fair to them? Yes?
Thank you. So how can you prove that social media ethics and work ethics does not correlate with each other?
Let's take an example like keyboard warrior. Keyboard warrior in their platform, in their social media is so brave to say anything, but in the real life they don't brave that enough. This shows that it's their business to say something. Okay? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, nowadays, there are a lot of keyboard warriors they just only brave enough to say something in their social media life. But in fact, in real life, they are not that brave to say something. Well, yes, this is good for the employment as their employers tend to do more work other than to talk. If they tend to say something in their social media more, well, it's their business. Plus, is it logic if you are not give their work just because your employers doesn't have the same ideology? It's not, ladies and gentlemen. Lastly, I would like to stress that applicants' attitude is not the same in the workplace. What would you act if someone tend to judge you just because your social media? Is that fair for you? Come on, guys. We are living in the modern era. Well, people need to be more positive about the technology environment. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we, the opposition team, strongly disagree with this motion. We strongly believe that professionalism in workplace is not the same as what is presented in the social media. With that, I end my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Norfariza. The time is 5 minutes 31 seconds. Now, to continue our debate today, I would like to invite the second speaker of the government team, Ms. Jauza Kamilia binti Muhammad Zaki. Please welcome.
Thank you to the speaker. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the adjudicator, again the speaker, honorable judges, timekeeper and fellow debaters from the opposition as well as government. Today's motion is this House believes that potential employer should consider social media ethics, should consider an applicant's social media ethics. Now, our case line is potential employers should highly consider an applicant's social media ethics before hiring them in order to minimize the risk factor. Now, before I come to my own argument, I would like to refute the point that has been presented by the opposition side. Before that, allow me to address a few things that I find during our argument. First of all, we find that the opposition side was not really hearing what the government have been saying this whole time. It did not really rebut my Prime Minister's point. Instead, they choose to rebut the explanation rather than the exact point. Now, the first point that was presented by the opposition side was they said that applicants' attitude is not the same as the social. They said that applicants' attitude is different between in social media and professional field, because they stress that professionalism in the workplace is not the same as what is presented in social media ethics. However, my dearest opposition, I would like to remind you that whether it is different or not, you can claim that it is different, but they come from the same person. And you also give us an example about the keyboard warrior. You say that they are only brave enough to say something about the employers or the company because they are behind the screen and they would not say the exact things in real life. And that is why, my dearest opposition, you have proved our point. I'm sorry, I will give it to you later. And that is why, my dearest opposition, you have just proved our point. Thank you for agreeing with us. And that is why we want the employers should highly consider an applicant's social media ethics before hiring them. Why? This is what happens when we oversee all of the risk factors that was included. Keyboard warrior. Now, let me give you an example about a certain postal service company that shows worker throwing and damaging packaging in a really bad way. And one of the employees who have bad social media ethics decided to record the video, the action of them doing it, and post it online, making it viral. Which brings me to my point. We say that when the potential employers, yes, please.
We are saying that keyboard warrior do their work much than they say in their real life. Wasn't that good?
Yes, I have heard you. Thank you for the POI. But the opposition also said that the keyboard warrior write things that they would not dare say in real life. So how will the employers take the risk if the keyboard warriors chose to say something bad about the employer's social media? No, thank you, please. You are taking my time. Now, back to my first point. When the potential employers consider an applicant's social media ethics, it can maintain the reputation and integrity of employers. I'm sorry, what? Can you repeat that?
You said you would give me a chance to answer, to give me you your POI earlier.
Yes, this is your chance now, please.
All right, we didn't say that the keyboard warriors insult their behavior will prove that they insult their employees. We said that there are keyboard warriors. That's thing that you are just trying to manipulate our points. Judge, please acknowledge this.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Your line is not very clear right now.
You are clearly manipulating our point when you say that we said that keyboard warriors, the keyboard warriors insulted their employees. Clearly, we didn't say that in the first place.
I'm sorry, you are taking my time, so I will answer this very shortly. It is actually the opposition who manipulates our words. And I, the government, did not say that you say the keyboard warrior are insulting the employers. We just acknowledged that you gave an example of keyboard warriors. Thank you. Now back to my explanation. When the applicants or the employee, they carry the employer's name wherever they go, especially when it's online. I will give you another example. If they have a misunderstanding with their colleagues, they may turn to social media and spread negativity and misinformation about them rather than discussing it directly. Why? Because they have bad social media ethics. Let me repeat that. The example that I'm giving are based on when the applicants have bad social media ethics, and the employers have no way of knowing if we do not consider this. Now, so how does this affect the company? When the public find out that the applicant or the employee represents a certain organization, I'm sorry, you are taking my time, I'm sorry. When they are representing a certain organization, the public will have a bad perception about the organization. This will not only affect the individual, this can also affect the organization and all the other fellow colleagues who are wrongly branded as unethical. But this will not happen if the potential employees consider an applicant's social media ethics before hiring them. And that is how, just like I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, you are taking my time. And that is why, as my Prime Minister has said, they show their true colors there. And with that, I would like to stress again that we as the government believe that the motion should stand and that the potential employers should consider an applicant's social media ethics. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect this.
Thank you, Ms. Jauza. The time is 7 minutes 18 seconds. The debate will continue with the speech from the second speaker of the opposition team. Please welcome Mr. Zulkarnain binti Mat Isa.
Testing. Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
A very good morning. I bid the speaker, vice of advocate, presiding keeper, fellow teams, our dear opponents, and not forgetting, ladies and gentlemen, members of the motion for today is this House believes that potential employers should consider an applicant's social media ethics. We, the opposition team, strongly and totally disagree with this motion, as we believe professionalism at workplace is not the same as what is presented on social media. As the second speaker of the opposition, before I proceed with our team's second and third arguments, I would like to refute the points of the government team. What is it? Okay, so the first point of the government team is that they doing this so that they can maintain a conducive environment as case like ultimate factor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is irrelevant to the motion. As the first point, as my first speaker has stated, it is irrelevant as they are not the same as their real life behavior. And furthermore, it's their freedom to say or do anything whatever they want in social media. Also, the second speaker has stated that this needs to be done in order to maintain the reputation of the company or to protect. And they also brought up the issue of the courier where the worker viral about the issue. That actually brought up the issue to administration, and in the end, they solved the problem. Imagine if they don't even try to do that in the first place, this problem would not have been solved. All right, yes?
Thank you. Can you please tell me how can you exactly guarantee? How can you guarantee that those social media behaviors
Sorry, you are
won't be
taking my time.
done the same when they are working?
Sorry. I'm sorry, you can ask me that later. Ladies, let me continue with our team's second argument to support our case line that we believe professionalism at workplace is not the same as what is presented on social media. Ladies and gentlemen, our team's second point is applicants have freedom to state their opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to stress this, we are living into this free world of the internet. The motion today not only suggested that we invade the applicants' privacy, but also their freedom. Yes, I understand. Freedom of speech doesn't mean you can say whatever you want without any effects. But seriously, employers of companies punishing people words. Who are you to judge people and who give you that power to do that? Opinions varies person by person. And just because you don't like it, that doesn't make that opinion wrong. Judging people's ethic on social media based on their opinions is totally ineffective method of knowing them. Hold on, because some people are just trolling, joking most of the time, and trolling, confusing people for fun. Yes.
Thank you.
Proof of this can. All right. Please do not waste my time.
Yes. Now, the opposition, please don't misunderstand the government. We are not saying that the employers can punish. And the opposition, are you running from the motion right now? Please explain yourself.
Basically, punishing your future applicant as you judge them on their opinions or their social media ethics. You are violating their rights. That's what we are trying to say. Proof of this, where I say you cannot rely on social media judgment, we can see in the United States, where a lot of cases where law enforcement arresting people saying they are bringing weapons to school, etc. They are just joking and no harm is done. This from Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, has stated that by 2016, the rate of false arrests increased exponentially by the of social media popularity. There, ladies and gentlemen, if you are really thinking about judging people because of their social media ethics, I would love that you take some time to rethink that again. Ladies and gentlemen, our third point is not allowing them to have a job just because it conflicts with your interests, violates their rights. As I said, just because their ethics conflicts with your interests, no thank you, you should, as I said, just because their ethics conflicts with your interests, are you judge them? Again, every person is different and their social media might not be appealing to you, but still, that's not a strong reason to violate their rights. The closest example to this would be the event of firing a NASA engineer, Mark Robert, just because that person prefers to help the other department. The head administrator of NASA Aerospace Management Chief fired that engineer because of that alone, and they ended up getting slowed down on their project for Mars Project Artemis. This threw away their opportunity to be a big success that time. As of that event, the US government started hiring private companies such as SpaceX by Elon Musk instead. So do you want this kind of thing to happen? There are a lot of examples of such event in Malaysia, but I'd rather not say that for reasons. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, members of the floor, before I take my seat, once again, I would like to reaffirm our case line, which is Professionalism at workplace is not the same as what is presented on social media. With that, I end my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Zulkarnain bin Mat Isa. The time is 6 minutes 54 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen and honorable adjudicators, let's hear from the third speaker of the government team, Ms. Nurul Irdina binti Sazali. Please welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Madam Speaker, honorable adjudicators, my worthy opponents and members of the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like the opposition remains adamant to the stand. It is unfortunate that the opposition cannot come to accept the truth regarding this matter. We, the government, now have no choice other than to directly and bluntly pointing out the many flaws of the opposition line. As the last speaker, allow me to rebut the arguments put forward by the opposition. So, the first speaker has been saying that social media ethics is like people not being themselves on the social media, and they keep bringing what keyboard warrior. They talk a lot in social media, but they do work much in real life. My dear, can I have proof for that, or are you just giving me a mere statement or your own opinion that they are doing much work in real life? They talk much, but they don't have much courage to talk in. They don't have much courage to talk in real life. Only in social media. Yes, please, my dear.
Okay, the thing is, we did not mention that social media ethics are not them people acting like themselves, not acting like themselves. We said that it's people acting like themselves, yes, but they won't show that in a professional environment. That is our point.
So what is the correlation between that? My dear, work ethic and social media ethic come from the same person. That is the main point. You can't say they won't bring. You have no guarantee that they won't bring the same attitude to you in workplace. So I need you to clarify why is your statement is so flimsy about it. Okay? And they also say that applicants can give the opinion, like employers punishing employees, judging their opinions based on the post they have given. My dear, please understand the motion for today. We are looking for work ethics, not we are judging them for what they post on the social media.
Please.
No, thank you. We just need to have a rough note before hiring them, because when you bring someone in your organization, we need someone who is good enough to bring profit. Business means profit. Organization means profit. No, thank you, my dear. We are bringing someone who's responsible in workplace. As I said, it comes from the same person. Social media ethics, work ethics, it comes from the same person. So I need you to stop talking like they are different person at workplace and about professionalism. That is a mere statement with no supporting evidence. And they say we are violating their rights, and they give us the US evidence that people bring guns just for fun and for falsely arrested. My dear, they have no relation at all to this motion. Okay? I need you to understand this motion first. Yes, please.
Okay, can you clarify why our point is invalid? Thank you.
Can you repeat that, please? It's not clear.
Can you clarify why our example is invalid instead of saying it's invalid?
As I said, it is not related to the motion. We are talking about work ethics, but you are saying that we are judging, we are punishing the employee. We are not punishing them. They are the applicants, not employers yet. workplace, they have a difference between employees and applicants. Applicants is just the person who waits to get the job, but employees are the person who are already in the workplace. So I need you to separate the meaning of them both. Okay. And the third speaker also said, we violate the applicant's right. We are not violating anybody's right here. We need to go and we need to do these kind of things. As I said, for the workplace, for the organization benefits, we are making this for the workplace benefits. We need responsible people. We need responsible, as I said,
please.
No, thank you. As I said, we need responsible
Your
people. No, thank you. We need responsible people in the organization, but you are just giving us mere statement. People no, thank you, my dear. You are taking my time. In the work, people in social media is not the same as in the workplaces. As I said, once again, it's a mere statement. No, thank you. So, I need you to refer back to our case line. We are doing this to minimize the risk factor. We are not violating any rights. No, thank you. We are not judging opinions just to have rough notes of how they work in their real life, so that they will bring the same attitude in the workplace. So I could say that the points given by the opposition teams are slippery slope, and they have got the false dichotomy with false evidence. And I think you need to reread the motion and understand it well, and understand our case line before saying us judging or punishing or violating anyone's right. So in conclusion, in the long run, we are helping the employers to have better organization growth, to boost their profit. As I say, business means profits, work means profits. So with the analysis that we have demonstrated, I have to say that this motion should stand, and this house is ours. Thus, this motion should stand, and with that being said, I raise my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Irdina. The time is 6 minutes 56 seconds. Well, ladies and gentlemen and honorable adjudicators, this is the third speaker of the opposition team, Ms. Norain Najibah binti Azhar. Please welcome.
Testing.
Yes, clear.
A very good day I bid to the speaker, wise panel of adjudicators, precise and meticulous timekeeper, my fellow ministers, and not forgetting our worthy opponents. The motion for today is this House believes that potential employers should consider an applicant's social media ethics. We, the opposition team, strongly disagree with today's motion that this House believes potential employers should consider an applicant's social media ethics, as their professionalism in the workplace is not the same as what is presented in social media. As the third speaker of the opposition team, I'm here to rebut and refute all the statements given by the government team, as well as to reaffirm our stand for today's debate. So let me start off with some things I want to note out. The thing is, they said that their side is not judging the applicants. However, when you are getting a rough idea of what the person is, what does that use? That uses it uses your judge, right? It uses your judgment, right? It uses your judgment. So you can't just say we're judging them or whatnot. That is completely false. When you're making a decision, you're using your judgment. So I'm just going to state that off the bat. So let me also start with their case
Your
line.
please.
Yes.
Are you aware when I say it's for the organization's benefit?
Yes, okay. The thing is, what does that have to do with what I just said? I said that it uses your judgment, and you said it wasn't using their judgment. That is already wrong in of itself. Again, let me start off with the case line. It is that before hiring, employers should consider hiring or consider an applicant's social media ethics before hiring them to minimize the risk factor. The thing is, the only risk here is that people on social media, the other users on social media right now are so judgmental, okay, and they want to cancel everyone that they don't agree with. The thing is, that is that is the modern world that we live in right now. The bug and speaker has mentioned. Sorry, I had to change seats. Testing. Yes. Okay, so the thing is, right? We live in a modern world that is doing a lot of cancel culture, and that is not good. And the thing is, sorry. Let me just start off with their first point, which is that they want to maintain a conducive work environment. And they want to have a rough idea of their personality, and they want good communication with the other employees. The thing is, right, you can have good communication even with someone that you don't agree with. As right now, we're debating, right? I'm having a conversation with you, and it is a good, productive conversation. So to say that you can't have good communication just because someone has different ideologies than you is completely wrong. They also mentioned that people that have bad social media ethics, can't take criticism. The thing is, we can take criticism. Just because they are defensive when someone challenges their beliefs doesn't mean that they can't take criticism for their work. Those are two completely different things. And the thing is, we on social media have the right to post what we want to post, right? So, and I choose to post what I want to post. If I'm not posting about doing work 24/7, does that mean I'm not doing work at all? No, right? We choose to post what we want to post, and that doesn't completely represent who I am as a person. So to say that you can judge someone or get a rough idea of who they are is completely wrong. And the thing is, not everyone has social media platforms, right?
Hi, please.
Yes.
Now, just now, the opposition said that they can post what they want to post. However, the applicants also need to understand that whatever they post will have the consequence.
The thing is, okay, what I do in my free time is my business. It's not my boss's business. It's not your business. So, and the thing is, our attitude on social media is not synonymous to our attitude in the workplace. You being professional is different than you talking to your friends, isn't it? It's completely different. So to completely make them as something synonymous to each other, something that relates to each other, is completely wrong. So their second point is also that you can maintain their reputation, the company's reputation, because they carry their name all the time. The thing is, imagine this, if there was no social media, if we consider this as a normal day life, right? If I am going to the grocery store and I get angry at someone for just a moment, does that mean that the company is completely, their reputation is completely destroyed? No. Your employees or your applicants, small things that they do don't completely matter that much unless you have people on the internet constantly searching for what the company is doing. If they're already searching for what the company is doing and what wrong things they're doing, it means that your company is already wrong, is completely, doing something wrong from the start.
Yeah, I believe.
Yes. Can you please hurry up as well?
Okay, thank you for the for you. Okay, you just said before that social media is a judgmental place. So how can you say that if you were to go angry for even a moment, it would not leave as effects?
it will not leave long-lasting effects to the point that it risks your company being destroyed. Okay, that's our point. And the thing is, let me rebut their third point, which is that they don't have a third point. So the thing is, right, to answer your other points, do you have any POIs, by the way? No, okay. So before I take my seat, let me affirm that we, the opposition team, strongly disagree with today's motion, that this House believes potential employers should consider an applicant's social media ethics as their professionalism in the workplace is not the same as what is represented in social media. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ain Najibah binti Azhar. The time is 7 minutes 19 seconds. We have heard the arguments from both teams, and now the debaters are given 3 minutes to prepare their reply speech. Now, to wrap up our debate today, here is the reply speech from the opposition team, which will be delivered by Mr. Zulkarnain bin Mat Isa. Please welcome.
A very good morning, I bid to the speaker and members of the floor. The motion for today remains same. This House believes that potential employers should consider an applicant social media ethics. We, the opposition team, strongly and totally disagree with today's motion, as we believe that professionalism at workplace is not the same as what is presented on social media. In this peaceful reply speech, I am sure that members of the House are interested to know which side is right and which side is wrong. Before I sum up our team's argument for today, I will firstly start with the rebuttals of the government team. First of all, I would like to point out that their case line minimizing the risk, but their points are weak and not supporting that case line itself. Risk is a huge thing, but all the government team points been given are not to be considered risk. So the first point of the government team is that they are saying that we should make a conducive environment. Like I said, it is not risk. Risk factor is a big thing. And if you say that conducive environment is a risk, then you are really losing the point of what working or being an employer is like, because you're focusing on work and money, but then you don't focus on their rights. And then you say you are doing this to maintain the reputation of company. Like my third speaker has stated, it won't affect the opinion of one person, won't represent the larger portion of the company itself. As for the third point, there is none so far that I have heard from the government team, but I'll rebut something that I have heard. You said the third speaker has said that we need to focus on work and profit, and that proves our point that they don't care about the applicants or the future employees' rights. So, ladies and gentlemen, finish with the rebuttals. Our first point is applicants' attitude isn't the same in their workplace. Think about it logically. We all have our opinions that are offensive, and our attitude might change as the result of voicing them. I'm that most of us are carefree and perhaps on social media. That's why we love and use it so much. However, in a professional work environment, we won't act the way we do in social media, as that wasn't obvious enough. Our social media representation isn't synonymous to our attitude in their life, especially in the workplace. So, do you think that it's honestly a good idea to completely replace someone on the social platforms? No, a big no. Our second point is applicants have freedom to say what they want. Listen, it's a platform with the ability for us to type out captions, and obviously we are going to use it to voice out our opinions, and we have the right to do so. Let's take our eyes off the social media and look at applicants going out for protest or for something. What? Just because opinion doesn't align with theirs means that they don't have a job to provide themselves? That's insane. Our third point is not allowing applicants' job restrict their human rights. I understand how it is not implicated, but they are people and they need job. In the end, we strongly and totally disagree, as we believe that potential employers, as we believe professionalism at workplace is not the same as what is presented on social media. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zulkarnain. The time is 4 minutes, 7 seconds. And last but not least, here is the reply speech from the government team, which will be given by Ms. Jauza Kamilia binti Muhammad Zaki. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me? Is my voice clear right now? Okay, I'll start now. Assalamualaikum, and again, a very good morning to everyone's here, the speaker, the adjudicator. the honorable judges, timekeeper, and yes, members of the floor. We have now come an end to our debate today. And once again, we as the government would like to strongly state that this motion shall stand. Potential employers should consider an applicant's social media ethics. And the government has provided you 2 points in order to prove why this motion should stand. Our first point is to maintain a conducive work environment, and our second point is to maintain the reputation and integrity of the potential employers. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to restate our case line. The government believes that the potential employers should highly consider an applicant's social media ethics before hiring them in order to minimize the risk factors. And the point was provided by the opposition side. There are 3 of them. The first of all is the applicants are not being their own self when they're in social media. And the second of all, the applicants can give their opinion. They say that they are free to express themselves in social media. And lastly, I could not get the last point. Yes, lastly, they claim to us that the potential employers are violating the applicant's right. Now, I would like to clear some misunderstanding that may have happened during our debate today. The opposition seems to not able to differentiate between applicants and employees, but they are talking about the points that they have been presenting are in the context of employees. Remember, members of the floor, the applicants and potential employers, they have no relationship whatsoever as of that time. And therefore, the tradition of applying for a job is whether you get hired or not hired, according to the employer's ideology and qualifications that they require. And we, the government, believe that the employer should highly consider an applicant's social media ethics before hiring them. Ladies and gentlemen, let us rephrase that and let us focus back. Potential employers and applicants. So the employers have no idea of knowing how these applicants would act in the workplace environment. So the only thing that they can have a rough idea on by their social media ethics. Social media ethics, ladies and gentlemen, my dearest opposition. We are not saying that they are not allowed to use social media. We are not saying that they are not allowed to express themselves on social media. However, some expressions or opinions that they have voiced may have consequence. And no, we are not denying their rights because they are not an employee yet. It doesn't matter whether they get hired or not hired, because they are just an applicant. It is up to the employers to state whether the applicants align with their ideology and qualifications or not. And with that, I would like to remind you, members of the floor, we are now debating calmly. And please, my dearest opposition, next time, can you please hear properly and understand the motion clearly before providing us with a statement or with your points to refute, because and with that, I rest my case. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Ms. Jauza Kamilia. The time is 4 minutes, 7 seconds. Well, that's all for the second English language debate competition. We would like to thank the honorable adjudicators and debaters for your presence today. Thank you for watching. Debaters, you may leave the group, and judges, you shall wait to discuss your result.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.